What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Real Fan Sports, where your fan of Zach and Nonpfixion are ready
What's
to
up?
settle the debate. Because this debate has been taking its toll on our channel. It's in every NRL
Yeah,
video that we do, every
everyone talks
stream.
about it. Everyone
Everybody
talks about
wants to know. We're going to go ahead and watch this video that's going to help us decide which sport is tougher, rugby league or American football. Now,
Here's the thing. I know that in our comments we see so many people that watch rugby or NRL or AFL, whatever you want to call it, whatever one you watch, and they talk about how much tougher it is than American football. We here have never said it's not tougher, but we have tried to explain the fact that we know that there's people that from NFL could exist in rugby. We know that people from rugby could exist in NFL.
but not
That's the whole thing.
everybody from the NRL could
Not
exist
everybody.
in
Yeah,
NFL, just like not everyone from the NFL could exist there. It's two different sports with two
exactly.
different
It's
sets of
definitely
skills and talents that have to be intertwined, and it takes years to develop to be at the highest level. Because that's what
exactly.
these guys are.
And
They
just to
spent their
understand it,
whole
just to
lives to do
understand the
it.
differences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as someone that's never played NRL or any form
Mhm.
of rugby, I mean, I can't
Mhm.
come out and say I know I played tackle football without pads on. I know that
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know that
I
stuff
know. I
hurts.
definitely
But
have.
I also know getting hit with some pads with guys coming at you running, 4.8s, weighing 300 pounds, and just
Yeah.
wanting to kill you also hurts really bad. So let's see what this video has to offer. I'm interested to see, and then in the comments, please debate this up. We're gonna debate it at the end, and let us know what your thoughts are. All right, you ready for it?
Yes, let's get it.
All right, cool. So this video is by Sugu Amasi. Which sport is tougher, rugby league or American football? NRL versus NFL. I'm just here for the licks. Oh, is that our boy?
Yeah,
Isn't that our boy Tamalo? I think it is.
it might have been.
I think it was. I think it
In
was.
this video,
I
we will
remember
be
that hit.
discussing and comparing the toughness of two of the most physically demanding sports outside of combat sport.
It's definitely clearer
Specifically,
now.
we
though.
will be comparing the
Yeah.
NRL competition in Australia to the NFL in the US.
What do you reckon a tougher game is?
Both sports require a high level of skill, athleticism, and endurance. But which one is tougher?
Very
Pongo.
true.
Let's
Pongo.
find out. Rugby league and American football
I
are
know
both
we ain't
very
starting off with
physical,
Russell Wilson,
full-contact
though.
sports that are played with the ball and involve two teams trying to score points. However, there are some key differences between the two sports. First, let's take a look at the NRL.
First off, I don't want to keep pausing, but I have to. That's how we do on this channel. I know some of y'all
Yeah.
get
We gotta
aggravated,
talk
but we
about it. We
like
gotta
we
talk.
like to talk. First off, I think it's hilarious how they try to simplify it as both of these sports' objective is to score more points. Wow, you don't say. You- Great
Bravo,
job.
bravo.
Great
You've
job.
solved the equation.
This sport, formerly known as rugby league, originated from England and is played by two teams of 13 players.
The
game is
history of
played
this
on a
still
field
blows
that
my
is
mind with
slightly
the
larger
NRL
than a
and how it's
soccer field
separated
and is
from,
divided into two
Yeah,
40-minute
yeah.
halves.
Still such a great
What makes
story.
the NRL so tough is the physicality and pace of the game. Players are constantly hitting each other at high speeds and must be able to take and deliver hard hits.
Jeez. Of course, I'll pause on KSI. Does this mean we could add KSI to the title? Because that's what the sidemen do, and then they obviously get
I
clicks.
know, right? They do that. They do that a lot.
They do that a lot.
Can we add JJ in there?
First off, one thing that I personally think, and I think it's where a lot of people get confused too, like people that watch NFL from Australia and and then vice versa, is that we've never got to see the hard hitting version of NRL because there's not a whole bunch of old highlights, and those that they have are very blurry, they're hard to watch.
Yeah.
And I wonder if
Yeah.
it's the same thing for them, that y'all didn't get to watch NFL back in the even just the early
Oh,
2000s,
man.
before that it was even worse, but just the early 2000s is night and day difference of toughness. Like when you have
Man.
guys like Sean Taylor, Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, all these guys,
in the,
they were going for heads.
I seen Bill Romanowski crack a dude in Papa's idol socket. Like, I mean, like, come on. I seen Napoleon
simple.
Kaufman get hit in a pile. Napoleon Kaufman used to be a running back for the Raiders. He got hit in a pile and got hit two different directions, and his leg immediately broke in two pieces in the bow. And you could see it. It was on camera. It was like, and it was just like, oh my god, like, that was just the worst. But
Well, with that being said,
yeah.
let us know some crazy stories from the early days of NRL, some crazy things that
Yeah,
you see.
let us know. Let us know.
Because, boy, All right, JJ, what you got to say?
We are here with NFL superstar and Detroit Lions
Reggie
running
Bush.
back Reggie Bush.
Yo, Reggie, my boy. That's my first Saints jersey was a Reggie Bush
I
jersey.
mean, I know enough about rugby league to know how physical it is, so I'm not surprised, but to see it in person is different than watching on TV. It hurts to watch. It hurts me to watch.
The game also requires a high
And
level of endurance.
we're talking about a dude that got stitched up by Drew Brees and got the wood hammered down on him by Philadelphia. I was in that game when he got smacked, and when I'm telling you, my ears rung from the 300 section. We up there in the nosebleeds, and I could hear that crack.
People also, and the one thing too that people need to understand, especially those who are new to the sport in the United States, that are not from the United States, the reason why it looks different now is because of marketing purposes. They've actually softened the game up so advertisers will put more money into the game.
Yeah,
and
because they don't want little
that's the
kids
biggest-
to look at broken
that's the
bones
biggest
and
difference too
knocked out-
between between NRL and American football. They're going two different directions when it comes to the marketing of the game. NRL still markets the brutality of the game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But NFL, they're getting away from that
yeah.
because of CTE.
Which I say, which is a shame, because obviously we want the health of players to be great and
Yeah,
stuff
of
like
course,
that.
of
But
course.
there are certain things that takes away from the true physicality of the sport, because it is a physical sport. It's meant to be a physical sport, and they try to baby it a little bit too much,
Oh yeah, just a little bit too much.
As players must be able to maintain their stamina under fatigue
God,
for the
some
full
of these
80-minute
hits,
match,
bro.
which seems
That's
like an
Greg right
eternity
there.
compared
We
to
wanted
the
to
NFL.
react to Greg Inglis. Oh my God.
Now, let's take a look at the NFL. This sport, also known as American football, is a full-contact sport played by two teams of
business.
11 players.
Before-
The game is
Can you
played on a
pause real
field
quick?
that is 100
Of course.
yards
So,
long.
just so people understand too, the biggest difference, NRL is still considered an actual sport. NFL is considered an entertainment business, not considered a sport. So even though it is a sport activity, they don't base themselves as a sport. They base themselves as an entertainment business. So therefore, that's why it looks different too. That's also a big fact that most people won't talk about.
And that's also a big fact as to why gambling has become such an increase as of recent
big,
years, especially now that it's been legalized in most states, because technically they can cheat the games. Whether or not they do or don't, I mean, that's up to you to believe. I like, for my own sanity, to believe that they don't, even though it does feel that way sometimes. But it does play a factor, because legally, since it's not a sport, they can control the outcome. A sport, they cannot. Since it's entertainment, they can.
I've always felt they did it to certain Super Bowls, and I know, like when we talked about the Katrina thing and how the Saints won soon after, and then after 9/11, then the Patriots won soon after. I thought that was too much of a coincidence for it to not be some tampering in both of those Super Bowl runs.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm a Saints fan, and not saying that it felt that way, because I mean we played hard, but some of the
it was
hits
for
that
unity.
some,
it was for
some of the hits,
it was
some of the
for
hits we
full
were
country
doing on
unity.
Brett Favre, like why they weren't getting roughing the passer, you would get incarcerated now if you did that in today's NFL. You know what I mean? And then even vice versa with the Rams going to the Super Bowl when they beat the Saints in the 2017 championship, where we had the famous no call. Well, guess what just happened that year? The Rams just moved to LA, and guess where the Super Bowl was? In LA. In LA.
It's the way things happen is sometimes it's fishy, but it's like us as fans, we don't want to believe it, but we do know it in the back of our heads, our subconscious, that it's potentially there. It's there.
Definitely.
I mean, look, my team is in Las Vegas, where they said, 30 years ago, there would never be a team in Las Vegas. We're in Las Vegas now.
Yeah.
So that changed.
man.
What changed? I don't know. I have absolutely no idea.
I think I may have a clue, but it's not coming to me right now.
It is divided into 4 15-minute quarters. What makes the NFL so tough is the explosiveness, speed, and agility required to play the game. Players must be able to outmaneuver their opponents and make quick, precise movements.
You got to be.
I'm done with this video already.
You got to be very
I don't wanna
agile. You gotta
Just pause it. I'm done. Cut it out. Dude, why is it every time I try to watch anything in the past about the NFL, they gotta scar me like that, bro? They gotta scar me like that. I was already ready to run out the house. I was popping bottles of champagne. We're going.
Can you explain what that is about, just real quick, really quick, as quick as possible?
Yeah, very
Why
quick.
you walked away?
The
felt so
whole
tough as the
Vikings
explosive.
thing. This was the last play. The Saints were. I think we were going to. I can't remember if it was I think it was the NFC Championship. It was the NFC Championship final.
Yeah.
I tried to forget. and we're up by 4. They need a touchdown. They had like 30 seconds, 20 seconds. There was no timeouts. Game was over. They throw a deep ball from inside the 20-yard line or right at the 20-yard line to Stephon Diggs. We have a corner and a safety back there waiting to tackle. They throw the ball, and our Williams, instead of just waiting for him to catch it, grabbing him and tackling him to end the game, he dives at him while he's trying to catch the ball and goes underneath his legs, and we lose at home. And New Orleans shed a tear that day, and that's what started the flood. A flood, yeah, it's like a hurricane.
Speed and agility required to play the game. Players must be able to outmaneuver their opponents and make quick, precise movements.
Yeah, he outmaneuvered us for sure.
You got to be explosive. You got to be very agile. You got to.
Oh, Reggie's a New South Wales fan. Oh no.
So all those same things.
Our Queensland people ain't gonna like that.
NFL players are some of the largest and strongest athletes in the world, and the sport is known for its high-impact tackles and physical play. The game also requires a high level of endurance, not as much as what we'd observe in the NRL, but players must be able to maintain their stamina for the full 60-minute match. So, which sport is tougher?
Let's see.
All right.
The great debate.
Many make the argument the NRL is tougher because the players don't use helmets, pads, and layers of protective gear.
I look at American football, I'm like, take off the fucking helmets. What's up with the shoulder pads?
But on the flip side, this can mean the NFL is the tougher sport because the players don't hold back and go at it 1,000% with zero care of self-preservation, increasing the chances of whiplash and head injuries.
If you talked about contact, there could be an argument that NFL is tougher because they have those pads on, so they think, well, they don't get as hurt when they
I think they're superhumans.
Take bare knuckle boxing, for instance. Fighters pull their punches to a degree to avoid breaking any bones in their hands, while in regular
it's better than the boxing reaction that we did a couple months back.
Resulting in harder blows.
Boy!
Of concussions to
Baby!
Good night.
Does this mean the NFL is tougher because of the higher chances of serious bodily harm? Or is the NRL the tougher sport because of the lack of protective gear?
So I was training at MMA and having a couple of fights while I was playing rugby league.
Well, I would imagine that just the sheer tenacity and cardio that you would get.
I love that comment. Rugby's gangster.
I mean, that's what I think.
All right, Joe
Americans
Rogan.
should play. Rugby, in my opinion, sacrilege.
And that's we didn't.
Very true. We didn't know that either. Had no idea.
More badass than football.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's no question.
This pad thing is ridiculous.
The argument is NFL actually suffer more from CTE because you've got blokes flying out of nowhere and their brain is going crazy everywhere. Whereas NRL at least has the protection of, I don't want to cut myself, I don't want to be head on head.
I want to keep listening, but like I don't want my my thought to disappear here.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, one thing that I think that makes a huge difference as well. You know, when you're talking NRL, right? A lot of times they're building a line, right, on defense. They're building a line. Their tackles for the most part come within a range of 5 to 10 yards. So these guys are getting 5 to 10 yards to run up and make a good lick. You know, there's also obviously rules to help protect like what kind of tackles they can do and stuff like that. They're not allowed. I don't believe they're allowed to leave like both their feet. In the NFL, they just made that a rule too. But you know, different things like that. In the NFL, you can get hit from a guy that's coming from 30 yards out, gunning full speed.
Yeah, gunning straight for you.
Gunning straight for you. And you're still looking, waiting for the ball to come in your hands, or maybe you're just now turning, and then you all of a sudden you don't have time to brace. You're just getting rocked. And you have situations like that almost every game. I mean, when we do our reactions when we do our live play-by-plays for the NFL, it's every game that we see some crazy hits like that. And it's the same with the NRL, but that is a big difference too. It's how they line up and how they separate themselves.
Just the idea of what you're saying is something, you know, I told you my brother was in the Army. My brother played football in the Army. He was a safety. And so when I told you about the hit he named after him, it's called the Arch Deluxe. Like the burger that used to be at McDonald's, it's called the Arch Deluxe. The reason why they called it that is because he played safety. He played the field. So when he's out looking and he sees somebody gets a short pass, he's 100 miles an hour running straight at them. And this is a man at this point, he's physical peak condition because he's in the Army. Physical peak condition.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's running as fast as he can, and he hits this guy who catches the ball and arches his entire back. He's done it. He did it so many times. We talked about his stories that he's knocked himself out. You know what I'm saying? Multiple times.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, and that goes back to the science of what they said earlier of that. You think you're superhuman. You got pads.
Because you
you're
have
fine.
the pads on. Yeah.
You can take this.
Yeah.
I mean that's I'm trying to think of a real world comparison of every day, but there's things like that every day that we think we're okay. Even just driving a car, like we're in a truck. You know, you're driving a big old truck. You think you're fine. Oh, I don't need a seatbelt. I'm chilling. I'm safe. Whatever. I'm driving.
Yeah.
Until you run your ass into a wall, and that don't matter no more.
Fly out that mug.
Right. Exactly. So
yeah,
it's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Clash.
People open a bar.
Yeah, them flying at each other head first, that doesn't make them tough, that makes them lunatics.
Whoever you agree with, both the NRL and the NFL are incredibly physically demanding and require a high level of skill, athleticism, and endurance. Both codes should be given the respect they deserve regardless of which sporting competition you're a fan of.
I agree.
Let me know which of the two sports you think is the toughest in the comments.
Yo, my Tigers.
Thanks for watching.
Stand up, baby.
Share, and subscribe for more videos like this.
You know what? I'm definitely subscribing.
Yeah, we like this channel.
Because this was cool. This was
a good video. And I think it was not only just a good set of videos that shows the representation of both sports, but also the commentary that comes across. I like how the commentary from the Australian side was about how they feel that with the pads, the pads was, and then of course from the American side it talks about the NRL. But of course the person they picked, he's like, take the pads off, which I think is not a good thing. When you have a defensive lineman who is 320 pounds, but actually can run a 4.7, do you understand how fast that is? People don't understand how fast that is. And if you're somebody that fast and that big, you are like a megaton rocket going at somebody.
I mean, I doubt we'd ever be able to do it on this channel, but if we ever got a point where we could react to some of the old sports science videos, if y'all have ever watched that back in the day, I think it used to be on like ESPN or whatever it was. They had a thing where they tested Ray Lewis and they put, different things to measure his strength, and he hit drywall and he hit with the force of an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
It's insane.
When I seen that I was like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
18-wheeler from a human being.
So,
and that was like a 5-yard burst.
And so to put all of that into perspective, we got like 20 more seconds. We'll let this finish up and then we'll close out. But to put that into perspective and looking at all the facts that we're stating, I think the people that play the NRL, I think they're fucking crazier for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about the physicality and what's tougher. I think they're crazier, though, because it's not like playing tackle football as a kid or even tackle football as a teenager. You're playing tackle football as a 28-year-old guy or girl in your prime physical peak condition trying to kill people, basically. You're trying to knock them out.
Out-muscle the next person.
Exactly. And that part of the game is insane. And it also takes a lot of restraint, too, because knowing that you are padless and all this, you're responsible for every person's life that you hit. And these people go at each other's brothers, their teammates, in games like the State of Origin and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's unfathomable because I guarantee there's not many NFL players that would do that. There's your rare and few in between. There's your, like Sean Taylor during the Pro Bowl when he just laid out that punter. There's only a few people that are truly like that where they think they can just do that to their brothers like that. They won't. They lay off a little bit.
Yeah. Well, because because we compare, I guess you could say State of the Union is similar to our All-Star matches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for NFL All-Star, it's cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's cookie
cutter.
No one even watches
everybody
it
trying to get
that check. That's why they switched to the flag football.
Yeah. They trying to get that check. They ain't trying to hurt nobody. That's the time after that game, you're going on vacation and you're coming back in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Yeah.
But truly, I think tougher. I think tougher is NFL. I think crazier is NRL, but I do think tougher is NFL. I'm gonna stand by my word on that. It's just some of the hits are just mind-boggling. Where like every game, people are just getting lifted out their shoes. Like concussions are happening all the time. It happens with protection. These things are happening.
I mean, then you see the things like the DeMar Hamlin video. That when we were on live when that happened,
and it was a clean tackle.
And that was a clean tackle, but it was a hit at the right moment where it caused that chaos. And the dude was in the hospital for several weeks after that. So, I mean, I definitely agree. And I guess it's probably because I've been watching football a lot longer than you have. So I've seen even crazier stuff when it was less regulated. I mean, like even seeing Tom Brady, I think Tom Brady gets leg broken.
Yeah,
Seen that, and that was like, it wasn't even a crazy hit. It was just the angle was bad. That's really what it is. It's just a bad angle, But I don't know, man. I mean, there's been players that have died on the football field because of bad hits, getting hit, in between a heartbeat. Like that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like players have died. I know one of our kids from Fresno State, his brother died on the field.
Yeah. My dad had a friend that died on the field in high school with him. He tackled wrong, snapped his neck.
Yeah.
That those things happen. And not to be like take the cookie cutter route of just saying like I think you could argue either way, but I truly think you
you definitely can.
Each sport is so physical and so just brute strength and talent all in one place. That's why it's so fun to watch, and that's why we got it. That's why we fell in love with NRL right away. We've only been watching it for a year, not even a full year yet. We've actually been reacting to it, and it's like when we actually get the chance to get up early and watch it, it's like we're so excited. Y'all can see during our live streams, we're up, we're ready to watch this stuff. It's fun, man. There's not a whole lot of sports like it, man. That reaches that level of physicality, skill, and talent.
Very, very true.
And that is going to go ahead and wrap it up. So with that being said, I know we had a lot of stops, a lot of long-winded, but let us know how you feel and what your debate is. Let us know your reasons why. Don't just say "cuz." I ain't trying to hear that. You come in here with a "cuz," I'm downvoting your comment. All right,
here's the thing. Like when you come into the comments and you speak your piece, don't speak your piece from a biased point of view of a fan.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of times our debates can go left. Just speak from somebody who can be objective and just looking at both. Both are very crazy.
Oh yeah.
The fact that grown men and women are running each other hard, head on. That's still this. And I've done it. I've done it without pads, so I understand the feeling, the exhilaration that you get. But at the same time, like he said in the video, in NRL and in rugby, that they're consciously thinking of how to hit the person because they don't want it. They don't want their head to get hit, so they're not hitting the other person's head. Just like when we watched State of the Union, when the guy actually went at his head, they had to wrap his head up because he was bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, they are purposely doing stuff because that's how they play. They play a little bit dirty. You know what I'm saying? That's just what they do. But the fact that everybody doesn't because they want to protect that part of the person, that's not their sole, perspective and not what they're trying to do. But
no, exactly.
I definitely think just let us know in the comments, like Zach said, and just give us objective comments, not just saying, "Oh, because I'm a fan of this team and this is why it is." Like, no, like
tell us why. Tell us what we're missing. Let us know what we're missing, man. We can look out for more of it and be like, okay, maybe they were onto something about that.
And we like and truly enjoy the sport, so we're young fans in the sport. So we're not against it. We're just saying that we think that both are definitely aggressive in tones and nature.
We just got do feel a little bit high.
Like the guy from Bloke in the Bar podcast, we do think that NFL, because of the helmets, might be a little bit more because they feel like they are untouchable at sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this was a great one. I enjoyed this one. I'd love to go find some more videos that compare different sports like that. Maybe we can find something else. If y'all have any recommendations, as always, leave those down in the comments. Drop us some links. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you did truly, in fact, enjoy this video. And we'll catch you on the next one, guys. My name is Zach, here with my boy Nonpfixion. This is Real Fan Sports. We're your fanalists, and we're out. Cheers.
Peace out.